Hey, shalom family. I don't know if you've ever worked on something, you ever been working on a project. Let's say if you ever did arts and crafts or something like that, and you were working on something, building something, putting something together, and you put a lot of effort into it. You put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. You put your energy and your focus and your time into trying to, you know, build this thing, whatever it may be. And then something happens and it all comes toppling down. Something happens and it just destroys what you've put all that energy, all that time, all that effort and attention into building, you know. And it's like somebody just comes over and knocks your dominoes over, knocks your blocks over, whatever it may be. And it kind of it crushes you, right? It kind of is heartbreaking because you put so much effort into it. And so you have two choices: either you're going to rebuild it, or you're just going to move on to something else, right? So sometimes it's just like you put so much into it, and after it's knocked over, you just like forget it. You go on to something else. But sometimes you muster up the strength because it was so significant that you don't want to see it go to waste. So you do it again. You muster up the strength. You grieve the fact that you got to put all this back into it again, and what you originally built was lost. So you put the energy, you muster it up, you do it again, and this time it gets knocked over again a second time, right? So at this point, I know for myself, after the second time I put all of my energy, my time, my attention into something and it gets knocked over, like that's kind of it for me. that's 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 hard for me to muster up the zeal to be able to build again once it gets knocked over the second time. So I have different things that I have been reflecting on lately, that I'm like, the question came to my mind: are you willing to build again? Are you willing to rebuild that thing? Whatever it may be, whatever it may be. It was something in particular I was thinking about, that is just a particular skill set, that I had a illness come upon me, and it attacked that particular area. And I went through the process years later, when I gotten well, rebuilding that again, and then the illness came back and attacked again that particular area, and you know since then I just have not put the effort into trying to rebuild in that area and trying to resharpen those skills and those tools. And it's just like you just feel deflated. You just feel it's like all your air is let out. And you just can't think of how you can try to rebuild that area again. So for you, it could be the area of relationships. Putting the effort into you know relationships again, whatever type of relationship that you may have put effort into and had some kind of failure or betrayal, or you know something ended. Or it could be a project, it could be a skill, it could be you know something that you built, an organization or something. It could be a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, it's like we have to ask the question: are we willing to rebuild, or are we willing to let that thing just die because of our hurt, because of past energy that was spent, that energy, that time, that money. It might have been money, whatever the case may be. All of that is spent, all of that is over. It's a new season, it's a new time. So if we're still here, then we still have the capacity to be able to start again, to rebuild again. you know um Sometimes it takes, sometimes you have to take a break. Sometimes you have to take time away from it. Sometimes you have to take some space from it and allow yourself time to refuel and become re-energized and renewed in your vision and in your hope. You can't always jump into something right after, you know, you go through something traumatic or go through something difficult. But just know that we can rebuild again, you know. Sometimes, you know, it may be in a different direction. It may not always be the same thing, but sometimes there's some things that we need to pick back up, right? So I just want to encourage you, as I'm encouraging myself right now, to be willing to build again. You know, if it's something that, you know, is stirred up in you, or if it's something that you know is a part of you, if it's something that you know that is worthwhile, it was worthwhile initially, right? If it's something that's worthwhile, if it's something that is, you know, valuable, if it's something that matters, it's something that you can still bring forward, going forward in your life, you can still bring with you. Be willing to do it, you know. get your second, third, fourth wind, you know, and let's try it again, you know, because I'm deciding now that, hey, let me allow myself to re-envision, to reignite, to restart some things that, you know, I had given up on trying to build, trying to grow, trying to, you know, work on and develop, right? So be encouraged, and just remember that the Most High is with you. And as long as you still have life in you, you know, keep going, keep going, keep going. Pull on that life and allow it to fuel you. You know, don't allow the past disappointment to drain you, but allow the abundance of life that we have access to in the source to fuel you, right? Because we may have expended all of what we had in the building process at the moment, but that's not all that we have because we have the source, and the source is unlimited, and the source is not drained. And we are able to access and tap in to the source that connects us to all that we will forever need to be able to continue. So we have strong roots. Hallelujah. We have strong roots. So praise the Most High Yah. I had a dream last night about a tree, right? So there was a tree that was growing. So you ever see a tree that's cut off and it's a stump, right? You see a stump of a tree. So this was a tree, it was a stump, but it was pretty high, like it was taller than me. So it was a tree stump that was cut pretty high. And out of that tree stump, there was a new tree coming forth from that tree, right? So there was a stump, and then there was a new tree with new branches, a new trunk and branches and leaves coming forth from that tree stump, right? So it was two of them. It was two beside each other, but it was one in particular that was taller. It was higher, and it was in the top of it was in the sight of, like, behind it you could see the sun was either rising or setting, or was doing something where it had those you know how it's all those colors in the sky when the sky has that purple and pink colors going on with it. So that was happening behind it, and I was like, oh man, I've been looking for this image, I've been looking for a tree, I've been looking for this. So I took a picture of it, and you know, I grabbed my camera to take a picture, and then I was able to get a video of it before, you know, the lights that were behind it in the sky were like kind of passing. It was as if like how the sun sets, and it's a certain look that you get to see for a moment, you know. So that was so I got my camera out and was able to take a quick video of that. So I was so excited about that. And I had a friend that was with me, and she was asking me what you know, why is there a tree growing out of a stump? And I was explaining to her that, you know, about the fact that when you have when a tree still has roots, that like a tree is resilient, and when it still has roots in it, the roots are still alive. There's still life in the roots, and still nutrients, and the roots are still there and good. There's always the potential for another tree to sprout forth from that. Sometimes it may go under and sprout another tree from the roots, or it may come up like that in this example through the stump. But there's always that potential because life is still there in the roots. So as long as our roots are still alive and well, there's always potential for new growth. So that dream had a lot of different connotations because it goes back to Isaiah chapter 11, where it talks about the sprout that was going to come forth from the root. The sprout that was going to come forth from the stump of Jesse. The stump of Jesse, that's the father of David. So it's talking about David's lineage, that the Messiah basically was going to come forth from the stump of Jesse. That new sprout was going to come forth, right? But Messiah is coming forth from the same tree, the same, tree, but this sprout is coming forth, right? This new life is coming forth from it, right? The stump looks like it's cut off. And Ezekiel talks about our expectancy being cut off as far as Yisrael, but it talks about how that new life is going to come forth. So that verse connected directly to this dream for me, and as far as the bigger implications of the dream. You can share any thoughts that you have about the dream that I just explained to you. But it also goes along with what I'm just sharing about the capacity for newness to come forth when there's still life there, right? When there's still life and the roots are strong, there's always that potential for new life to come forth. So if you are rooted and grounded and there's life in you, look for that new sprout to come forth. Allow that new sprout to come forth. Work towards it, pray into it, hope for it, renew your hope. Let your expectancy not be cut off. Renew your hope and renew your vision. And let's go. Hallelujah. Shalom, shalom, family. Be encouraged today. Yah bless.